Pascal, please don't leave. Please. He wants to retire in 2 days. Change your mind. Please, change your mind. No! No! Oh, it's a disaster. What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 8 of Park to Prem, here with Towlord Town today. Well, you saw the intro. It's not been the best off-season for us, at least in terms of retaining the services of Pascal Chimbonda. He has retired, yes. He gave me 2 days' notice. He packed up his bags. He went away, and before I could even offer him a contract as a coach, he moved to lands afar, where now he's unwilling to come and move to Towlor. So, yeah, thank you, Pascal, for your services, but we've got bigger fish to fry. We've got bigger stuff to worry about, guys. If you saw the title of this video, you might be wondering, what the hell is happening? Look at this screen. It's not pleasant viewing, is it? That is a very big red number. And you might be thinking, Jack, how have the finances gone this bad? Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. So someone can maybe offer me some input here. Of course, at the end of last year, we had £180,000 in expenses. That was to improve the youth facilities. We then had, as you can see here, a big influx of money. And this influx of money was thanks to a pre-season tournament, much like last year. We hosted the Law Cup for a second year. You can see it didn't go so well. We played Blackburn, Birmingham and good old Bolton. We also had the Tow Tourney. And, well, the attendances for these games were pretty solid. And it did result in some money coming in. So if we look at our income so far this season, you can see we made £500,000 in gate receipts. So you'd think we would be swimming in money, but unbeknownst to me, after these tournaments finished, we had these big expenses go out. And last year, these expenses for the tournament, I think, listed under other, were £170,000. This season, we paid out £650,000. We don't have £650,000. If someone can explain this to me, I don't know if I did something different with the tournament setup last year. Either way, we're in the red, and I don't really have a means of which to get money. Now, the fortunate news is we are spending within the budget set by the board, and Football Manager is quite forgiving on the finances, especially with databases this low down. Obviously, this is fan-made. Teams' finances aren't 100% balanced out, but the way Football Manager works is a club can never go into administration and liquidate or anything like that. The most likely situation here is either Sandra, God bless her soul, our chair lady, puts in a load of money, or she may well look to sell on the club. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, but that hasn't impacted things too much because this whole financial issue didn't really become an issue until after I'd done the transfer business that I wanted to get done. So, it's a new season, it's the start of Season 2, of course. If you missed last episode, you missed the end of Season 1. A bit of a retrospective. We have been busy in the market. And in fact, some of these transfers were done before the season was officially over. So let's look at those first. And we made a quartet of signings before the end of the year. These were all players who were told by championship clubs, you're not good enough for us. We don't intend to keep you on next year. Find a new club. So the first player we signed is Joe Nolan. He is signed from Preston. A good little centre defensive mid. Has one dribbling, has one finishing. There's a few gaps in his game, but in terms of just a squad depth player who we've signed as a freebie, I don't think you can really argue with him. Some good athleticism as well, which is definitely becoming a trend in our team. And while speaking of athletes, we also got Chanka Zimba in, another centre mid. This guy, slightly more rounded, I guess it would be fair to say, if we just compare him and Nolan. You can see here, Nolan better defensively, but Zimba here has just better physicals, better rounded, doesn't have one dribbling, doesn't have one finishing. And he's going to be a regular part of the first team, I think, this year, Zimba. Two more players we signed. Lewis Earle, who again will feature in the first team. Former Preston man, was told by Preston, we don't have a contract for you, see you later. We've snapped him up and he looks like a good little player at centre-back. And the other player we've signed before the season was over was Henry Kumwenda. He's still wearing a school uniform. I don't know if this is legal. He's 17 years old. He was playing for Leeds United, as you can see here. And, well, to me, he looks like a pretty good option as a poacher. Look at these 12s and 9s. And, yeah, he's just a very, very good poacher for this level. And he's only 17. But, yes, those were the dealings that happened at the end of last season, and starting this year, you can see we went on to make 3 more additions. The first one here, Michael Stratham, a goalkeeper, and we actually needed a goalkeeper, because as you will find out with the outs, we've had a little bit of a disaster when it comes to the goalkeeping position. So become familiar with Michael. He is going to be the man between the sticks for us to start this season. We then have 2 absolutely huge signings. These, honestly, probably the best 2 signings. The 2 signings I am most optimistic about. They've not played for us yet in a competitive game, but I'm convinced these are going to be good for us. So the first player, Kit Elliott, formerly of Huddersfield Town. A good player, can play as a striker or on the left, centre or right of the attacking midfield. This year for us, expect to see him feature as an inverted winger on the left-hand side. Look how good he is, 19 years old, formerly of Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Huddersfield. I mean, he's got calibre, and he's joined us here at Towlon. The last player we've signed, and this might be premature, this guy might be the best signing that we make in the entirety of this series, and we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But Deshaun Bernard joins us from Manchester United, and this guy, he's way too good for us. I'm going to be honest, we've signed him on £250 a week. That is more than I've ever offered any other player at this level. But look how insane this guy is. 19 years old. Again, here we were just looking through players marked for release by clubs. I did a big thing where I went through my team from last year and I just went on their history. And one by one, I went to Blackburn. I looked at their under-23s team. All the players with contracts expiring at the end of the year. And, we gave them all a little, shortlisting and a little look. And you can see here, if we just look at the players who have been scouted in the Scout Centre, you can see we were quite busy. And there's a lot of players here who are free agents who we've scouted. And that's because they've been released by the clubs at the end of their contracts. Obviously, a few of them have picked up new teams. But yes, we did invest quite heavily, I guess, into scouting for the future. So there's a few players here who we might look at if we need to. But in truth, I'm pretty happy with where our squad's at right now in terms of transfers in. On the outs, we did make some sales and such. Cameron Park left us. We signed him right at the end of last year. He did not stick around long, so he departs for Wick Academy. Callum O'Neill, who of course was our goalkeeper to start last season, has ended up going to Newcastle Town. Nikos, I'll get your name wrong if I don't call you just Nikos. He's gone back to Greece, played 2 games for us, conceded 5 goals. I was not particularly impressed by him. Akbas has left us. Might be a bit of a surprise. I couldn't keep hold of him. Bit of a shame, really, but he has moved on. Carter Thompson has left for Pontefract. Was a good backup centre-back last year, but with our overall standard of the team improving, didn't have a spot for him. And the last player, the player who I didn't really want to lose, who was going to be our starting goalkeeper for the season, Callum Roberts. He's gone to Cologne. Not as in Cologne, as in Colney. I'm going to call them Cologne. It's definitely not correct, but we're just going to go with it. But he left us, as you can see here, less than a week ago. Less than a week till the start of the season. He was stolen away from us. And so the decision to play Stratham in goal is not one that was originally planned, but he is very, very good. So all in all, the team is looking solid. This is how we are going to line up throughout this season for the most part. So plenty of familiar players here. Of course, Stratham new in goal. At left back and right back, we're sticking with the Ginger Ninja in Donnelly Blackburn. And at right back, we've also got Andy Jackson, which is great news. In the centre-back position, we've got Bernard. And alongside him, we've got Earl. So the new two new signings here, I think, are going to be really, really great for us. 2 extremely good defenders. You can see how ridiculous Bernard here is compared to Earl next to him. It's absolutely ludicrous how good Bernard is. I mean, it bodes well if we stick out here for the long term. If we can continue to snap up Manchester United's rejects, we could be onto something beautiful. In the centre of the midfield, we're going to go with Romario Vieira and Vaughan for most of the season. Unfortunately for us, Romario Vieira is suspended for the first game of the season, so he's not available to play. Out on the left, as I mentioned, Kit Elliott is going to come in for us. On the right, of course, Sonny Best retains his spot in the team. Fan favourite, commenter favourite as well. I feel like for most people, he is just the player of the series so far. And up front, we are going with a bit of a 4-4-2. We've got Henry Kumwenda in his school uniform, and alongside him, of course, Ryan Ferguson, no longer the postman. Luke Ferguson has left. We've got a promotion, and he's had a promotion. He's now the courier, and hopefully he's going to carry this team. But yeah, this is what we're going to play, I think, this year. It may change with time, of course. We still have the option to go back to the system we used last year, but I want to try something with 2 strikers. With Kit Elliott coming in, it made sense to play with 2 inverted wingers. And I feel like this could really play into our strengths in terms of just pure athleticism. if we just look at our team here, and if I just look at attributes and physical here, look at the pace in our starting 11. This is absolutely insane for this level. Obviously, it's not the craziest pace across all the leagues, but this kind of athleticism, I think, is going to serve us really well, and I want to make use of that. So this year, you can see we're changing things up. We're going to play higher tempo. We're going to look to pass into space and run onto balls. I really want to use the wings where we have got most of our pace. I really feel like Romario Vieira and David Vaughan in the centre are going to be anchors for our team. In terms of building the play up, we want to distribute to our full-backs and centre-backs and build from the back. Obviously, we're going to look to use our speed and hit teams on the counter. This year, if you've played Football Manager, you've experienced it. Big, long balls going over the top and flying in. To try and counteract that somewhat, we are going to change when possession has been lost to regroup. Apparently, that helps quite a lot with long balls. I've not done a great deal of testing with it, although when I have used it a little bit in a few other save games, it seems to have worked. We're going to give it a whirl of the dice here. And out of possession, I'm going to try and press a little bit. We'll see how this goes. I feel like with our athleticism, we should be good at this. But if it starts to cause us issues, we might just slow things down a little bit. Obviously, when you're a professional team and you've got really, really good players, you can afford to have everyone pressing hard and running all game. The reality is here, we're not a team full of professional players. You know, we've got part-timers. They're not as athletic. They've not got the best stamina and work rate. Perhaps it will be better just to stand off. We'll have to wait and see. Unfortunately for today's game, as I mentioned, Romario Vieira is out suspended, so Zimba's going to come into the team. I've got it set up here so he will come in and play on box-to-box midfielder rather than centre mid on support, purely because he's more familiar with the role, and the two roles, to be honest, I don't feel like function too differently in Football Manager. Zimba obviously has the legs to get up and down as well. He's got insane work rate, nutty physicals for this level. He's born to run, and well, run he is certainly going to have to do as the box-to-box midfielder for us. So yes, besides the financial issue, everything's been pretty good in pre-season. You know, I'm very happy with where we're at. If we just look at the league table and season preview, we are the favourites to go up. You can see here, Concert, our fierce rivals, they are predicted to finish third. And Bedlington, who got promoted with us last year, they're predicted to finish fourth. So that gives you a pretty good inkling as to, I guess, where things lie here. Bedlington came up with us. They were a good team last year. They're fourth favourites. So it feels like the step up from last season to this year isn't actually that big, and obviously that is again implied by the fact we are quite heavily favourites, although, you know, with the squad that we have, we should be favourites. In terms of the league best 11, you can see Michael Stratham in goal for us is in there, and then our back four of Jackson, Bernard, Earl and Jolly makes up our back four. And worth noting, it's Jerome Jolly, not Donnelly Blackburn at left back. To start the year, I'm going to stick with Blackburn. If it doesn't really work out for us, we will change things up. I'm looking for Donnelly Blackburn. There he is. I mean, you can see the direct comparison here. It's hard to argue that Jolly's better, but the media seem to think he is. I am going to stick with Blackburn, at least for now. In the centre of the midfield, they rate David Vaughan and Vieira, although there are two players who aren't our own players, actually out in the wide areas. And up top, they have got Henry Kumwenda, and alongside him, Kit Elliott, who, of course, we're going to be playing out on the left in our system. In terms of key players, Kit Elliott and Deshaun Bernard considered the two key players for us. Not entirely surprising to pry away two players of their quality from Manchester United and Huddersfield. They're really big coups for us. They're players who are going to be superb. Obviously, you can see when you look at the appearance fees, we are upping the ante in terms of money that we are paying, and that, with our current financial situation, might be a tiny bit of a concern. Obviously, the big thing is I am spending within the budgets that the board are setting. It's not like I'm going crazy and spending money that we don't have. It would appear that for whatever reason, and I'm not sure if it was linked to the pre-season tournaments or something else, we lost over £500,000 in expenditures that I just did not foresee. And obviously, in hindsight, it now feels like a really bad decision to upgrade the youth facilities and spend £180,000 on them. Let's just hope we don't live to regret it. But yes, the finances in this kind of lower league of English football, they're always a bit all over the place. It's going to be a challenge. We're spending within our means, but it's worth just being aware that it could be a problem down the line. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm going to focus on the action on the pitch. I'm not an accountant. I'm not. I'm a football manager. I'm in my mind, at least. But I'm very, very excited to start this season. I will just touch upon pre-season. I realised that we were in a big hole financially straight after the Law Cup, so I had to cancel a load of friendlies against lesser opposition and try and get some against slightly bigger teams. It's worked a little bit to offset the deficit a little bit, but the finances still, they're not looking particularly rosy. I'm going to level with you. They've not been that good. An income of £500,000 this month. Yeah, a little bit overshadowed that, unfortunately. But you know what? Maybe it's karma for last year where we made a load of money off the tournaments. Either way, we will look to bounce back on the pitch. And I think we're ready to get into this game. Although, actually, one more thing that I need to talk about. And thank you to whoever wrote this in the YouTube comment section, because I've learned something new. So we've had a big issue with players getting poached. I have been told, and I've not tested this yet, although I'm in the process of testing it with players like Sonny Best. If we approach to sign a player like Ryan Ferguson and then say at the end of the season the contract start date is, and then offer a contract like so, my understanding is he will pre-agree to this new contract with new terms at the end of the year, and as a result he can't be poached during the season. I'm not 100% that works. If that does work, that's a game changer for us, and that is something that I will look to do. Unfortunately, with some players like Kumwenda, because of the financial situation, I can't afford to pay him the money that I previously offered him, which obviously is a tiny bit of a problem. But hopefully we can negotiate some of our players. One thing that I've noticed, especially last season, when looking at free transfers to sign, is players' demands really fluctuate quickly in the lower leagues of English football. 1 week a player wants £200 a week, then they want 40, then they want 500. It's a little bit weird, so if that works, I'm going to make use of that, at least to lock down key players. Players like Sonny Best, who we've already offered that kind of contract to. Players like Ryan Ferguson as well. Because I don't want to lose those players. And obviously, it makes sense to do so. So if you're following in my footsteps, make use of that tip if it works. I'll confirm or deny it, I guess, next time, or maybe in the comments section. If that does work, massive. And it shows that Football Manager is a deep game and you learn something new every day. I've learnt something monumental there if it turns out to actually work out. Unfortunately, Taylor Knowles here, I can only offer 130,000 to. I can't shuffle around this money to offer him more. So I've got to break down those talks. Let's hope that doesn't leave him unhappy. Anyway, it's the start of a new season. We're in the Northern Premier League. It's a new formation, it's a new dawn, it's a new day. Obviously, it's nice to see the likes of Ferguson, Best, Donnelly, Blackburn, 3 players who started last year with us still at the club. Obviously, players like Jackson joined halfway through the year, Vaughan, at the end of the year, and a few new players in and amongst us. You can see on the bench, Joe Robson is on the bench for us, of course, signed from Blythe last year. We've trained him to play right back, and one thing that you'll note this year is we've got really good coverage on the bench. So we've got Robson, who can play right back and centre back. Jerome Jolly can play anywhere down the left, which I absolutely love. Adi Wussy can play centre mid or centre attacking mid if we need him to. We also have Emerton, who of course joined us at the end of last year and performed very well, having joined us from, who did he join us from? North Ferriby? Yeah, North Ferriby he joined us from. Yeah, 2 goals and an assist in 3 games. Not too bad at all. And Taylor Knowles is also on the bench for us as a striker. I know someone's going to ask, Roy Loy, he's our boy. Someone wrote a really good rhyme and I wish I'd written it down. It was to do with World War III and he would destroy in it. But either way, I asked for some chance. The best ones were the topical ones. If you were one of those people, you know who you are. You made a World War III joke. Kudos to you, the low-hanging fruit. But yes, he's not going to feature as much this year, although over the course of this year, I have no doubt we will rotate things. You can see this is the squad that we have for this year. Overall, pretty happy with the squad. I have trimmed it down quite a lot and released a lot of the deadwood in our reserves. So our reserve under 23 team, as you can see here, is significantly smaller than it was previously. And on the under 18s front, I mean, there's no prospects to keep note of, so don't hold out any hope, anyone. But yes, if there was players who perhaps were in the first team last year who you didn't spot in the first team, they may well be on this screen. Obviously, players like Moab here. If we have players get poached, these guys will very likely be the players who get promoted, because given our current financial situation, I can't afford to sign anyone, which is a bit of a problem. But anyway, let's get into this. We are league favourites. I want to go out there this year and destroy things. I feel like last year we actually underperformed and we should have won even more games than we did, which might seem mad considering when we won the league. But, you know, ourselves, and is it Beddington? It's awful. I can't remember the team who got promoted with us. But basically, those of us who got promoted last year, we're tipped to do good things again this year. And, well, with players like Bernard at centre-back, who, again, I'm going to say it now, and it may be a curse, I think he's the best signing we will make all series in terms of actual quality relative to the club we're at. If he can step up and show his quality, we're going to be laughing. And, well, Kumwenda, he's missed 2. Third chance, can't get it. Sonny Best, I thought he was going to have a goal 20 seconds into his debut. Vaughan, Elliott can't quite get there. I mean, what a start that could have been for the schoolboy. We've got a postman and a schoolboy up front for us. I feel like we just have to call Kumwenda the schoolboy. He's wearing a school uniform I mean, I assume it's a school uniform. I don't know many 16-year-olds who wear suits randomly for photos. How did the person who made this face pack, do this face pack? Did they, find him on Facebook or something? Find a picture of him from school? I'm very confused by it all. Either way, we need to win things here. Earl does win it with an absolutely great header. Now we need to defend as the ball's dinked over the top. Earl wins it again. He might not be quite as athletic as Bernard next to him, but he's showing his worth there. And, well, it's a bit of ping-pong long ball here as Elliott gets the ball. What can he do? Kit Elliott lays it inside to David Vaughan. He threads through Ferguson. Can he deliver? Rebound? Maybe he should have scored that. And he tried a fancy flick and he's not pulled it off. The good news is we're creating chance after chance. And, well, Ferguson's continuing to be involved in the play. Kit Elliott hits the woodwork. Now, what is happening? We've hit the woodwork twice. 2 clear-cut chances, a half chance. We're 10 minutes in. I mean, if there was any worrying about the 4-4-2 not creating chances for us, due to the lack of an advanced playmaker like we used last year, I think those concerns can be thrown out the window. But the fact that we've not scored is concerning. We've got a lot of firepower, though. We've got the schoolboy, Ferguson. Also, of course, Kit Elliott out on the left-hand side. And while speaking of the devil, there he is. Zimba playing box-to-box midfielder is also going to be huge for us, I think, this year. Can you do some running? Zimba, do some running, mate. That's what you're good for. You've got great work rate, well-rounded, and alongside David Vaughan, you are going to have to do the heavy lifting. Sonny Best, through on goal. Can he get our first goal at this level? Of course he can't. Who did you think he was? Ryan Ferguson. He's never going to score from there, Sonny Best. He only scores Robben-esque goals where he cuts inside at the edge of the 18-yard box. As soon as he's through on goal like that, he melts. And, well, we saw that there. I do want to keep faith in the likes of Sonny Best and Ferguson. I want to have constants in our team who have been here from the beginning. Those could be the players for us. As Elliott's through, he probably should have squared it. It's another golden opportunity. I'm curious, Ashington, where are you predicted to finish? They're predicted to finish 6th. So this is one of the better teams, allegedly, in the division. And I say allegedly because right now, we're just schooling them a little bit. Big throw, falls straight to Donnelly Blackburn. Not the best clearance, but I mean, then misses his tackle, and now we're on the back foot. We've had all these chances. It would be very work the space for us to concede. And, well, Cassie Taglione slots it into the bottom corner. Makes it 1-0 Ashington. How are we a goal down in this game? It's just been one of those matches so far. This is not the start to Season 2 I want. Donnelly Blackburn, what are you doing? Everyone else is a bit lazy running back. Also, Vaughan. I know you're not particularly quick and you've only got balance. But come on, mate. Give over. Put in a little bit of a shift at the back. Of course, worth remembering this year we're in the FA Cup. So I don't want to stress it too much, but with how our finances are looking, cup competitions may make or break our year. As Zimba's through, I mean, Chanka Zimba is not the man I brought in to get goals. But he just likes to run and run and run. And if he's going to have to do all the running alongside Vaughan, and if he can add goals to his kind of tally, he could be an exceptional player for us this year. Makes the run ahead, gets through, and, well, considering all the attacking players who had a chance, it falls to our box-to-box midfielder. And he has the best finish of the game so far. Slots into the bottom corner, and now we have a set piece. Vaughan whipping it in, headed away to Bernard, who hits it. I mean, Deshaun Bernard, I've said he might be our best player. He's definitely our star player. No idea how we've got him from Manchester United. But he was released by them. Other teams didn't want to give him a chance. He's joined Towler Town. And it's not the kind of goal you expect from your centre-back, but it's not a badly placed little shot, is it, into the bottom corner? 2-1, we've turned it around. All it took was for me to get irrationally annoyed at the team, and now we're stepping things up. Ball straight down Jackson's throat. Can you get it forward here? Dinks it to Alex Ferguson. Or Ryan Ferguson, rather. Who is Alex Ferguson? I guess he's the Manchester United former manager. Sonny Best, what is happening? Oh my gosh, I thought their defender was about to run it into the back of the net. He loops it clear. And if you can't tell, I'm a little bit excited watching this game. Kumwenda, go on the schoolboy. He's got no one in support. He's going to have to cut inside, I imagine. He holds it up superbly. Kit Elliott dinks it towards Best. It's headed away. So we've kind of ditched Michaela from the team, the former United man. Now we've got Deshaun Bernard, the former United man. Maybe it'll just become a thing that we always have a former Manchester United player in our team. Anyway, the ball to Jackson here at right back. Dances past his man. Little 1-2 with Vaughan. Whips it back post. Kumwendo. He's offside. It would have been such a nice goal as well. It was a great finish by the 17-year-old. He was told by Leeds United at the end of his junior contract last year, you're not good enough. This might be why. He is stood 5 yards offside, which isn't ideal. It's been highlights galore so far. 6 clear-cut chances. We're creating a lot. Jackson whips it in. Elliott's there. He hits the woodwork. Kumwenda does score this time, finally. We're 3-1 up. We deserve to be 3-1 up. We've had 7 clear-cut chances, and it's not even half-time. 4-2-4 might be the formation we use this year. If we can just outscore opposition teams, maybe that's better than what we strived towards last year. Last year, we were getting a decent number of goals, but we were conceding far too many. Maybe I just doubled down on the scoring of goals. Anyway, to go back to the team who got promoted with us, it was Bedlington. I'm sorry that I said Beddington, I think. I don't mean any disrespect to the Terriers, but you finished second to us, so you're irrelevant to us. They are predicted to do well this year, though. And who knows, maybe they'll be the team to really push us, because they were a bit of a surprise package last year as well. Anyway, Vaughan, threads through Ryan Ferguson, should score here. It's a tight angle. Grant tips it over. Not a bad save at all. It's another glorious, glorious opportunity going our way. David Vaughan, what can you do? Crosses it in to Kit Elliott. Can he keep it alive? Back to Vaughan. Bernard hits it. I mean, I thought for a second he was going to get his second goal of the game. Unfortunately, he skews the effort wide. But we continue to start the first half, or the second half we start as we finish the first half. Using that pace in the wide areas. We're looking for the overlaps. We're looking to get it into our inverted wingers. Sonny Best and Kit Elliott. Expect big things from them this year. Really, I want Vaughan just to be pinging balls like that. He's not got the legs to run around, but he's got the legs to put in passes like that. And Ryan Ferguson maybe showing that he can do it at this level. I have got Knowles waiting in the wing. He's waiting for his opportunity to come in, the 17-year-old. I think he will get football this year, especially with us having 2 strikers. But, well, if Ryan Ferguson and Kumwenda can score like they have today, maybe it becomes a little bit more difficult for him to break into the team. Ball played forward here. Both players miss it. Jackson eventually gets and gives it to Vaughan. Sonny Best inside to Ferguson. There's tears streaming down my eyes whenever those 2 players link up. They are Towlaw Town for me right now. Turnbull wins the ball and lumps it clear. Mottram dribbling the ball forward. Can we defend here? Oh, what a stop that is. Now with Sonny Best. What can he do? He switches it to Kumwenda, who should nip in there. That is a shocking finish. And you know what? I wasn't sure who I was going to sub off out of Ferguson and Kumwenda. I was about to say I'm going to sub off Kumwenda because of that miss. I'm not going to. I'm going to bring in Taylor Knowles, though. And I think with our other change, Vaughan is struggling quite a lot. That may well emerge as a running trend this year. We're going to bring in Adiwusi to play alongside Zimba. So it's 2 pretty athletic centre mids. Adiwusi was one of the players we signed from North Ferriby towards the end of last year. I feel like Zimba should just be called Zoomer, just because he zooms around the pitch. He's got insane work rate. He's got a battery like a Duracell bunny. Duracell, if you want to sponsor me, please get in touch. But he has energy like a Duracell bunny. What is Grant doing at the back? What is happening? Football Manager, what are we showing here? Is there a chance? Adiwusi, what can you do? Lays it to Zimba. They've got chemistry already. The ball played forward towards Knowles. It's gifted away. Threaded through to Kumwenda. Please score this one. There we go, Henry. So cool that they spelt his last name with an I, not a Y. And what a lovely goal that is by him. He's loving it. He's got to go back to school on Monday to finish off his A-levels. But right here and now, he can celebrate that goal. Threaded through by Taylor Knowles, who, of course, has only just come on off the bench. If we can have 3 strikers who all do lots of goal-scoring things, I'm fine with that. And, well, that would be what I would love to see now from us as we lump the ball forward again. There's been so many highlights in this game. What a little 1-2 that is. He's onside as well, Knowles. Got to finish this, really. And he smashes it straight at the keeper. We've had 12 clear-cut chances this game. 5 half chances as well. That is absolutely unreal. I'm surprised how well the 4-4-2 has worked in this game specifically. It'll be interesting to see if this 4-2-4... I feel like it's more of a 4-2-4 than a 4-4-2, to be honest, but it'll be interesting to see if it has any longevity. But certainly in this game, it is shown to be top draw. We're bullying them, although we are now in second. So someone else is bullying a team better than we are. Kumwenda, not going to get his hat-trick today. Ball blazed over the bar. But he does get the Man of the Match award, the youngster, on his senior debut, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he ever played for Leeds United. We've got Loughborough University next. So last year we had Newcastle University. We've moved up in the world to take on Loughborough. You can see we've got Romulus in the FA Cup first qualifying round. Although I feel like they might be a year or two ahead of us. Or a year or two ahead of us. A league or two ahead of us, Romulus. Probably won't do that as a live comp because the FA Cup has a lot of qualifying rounds and they're not really worth a great deal of money, although I will aim to do well in them. But yes, Henry Kumwenda, remember the name. 2 goals and an assist on his debut, playing as a poacher alongside Ryan Ferguson. And I'll tell you now, I've got a very, very good feeling about this year. Romario Vieira's suspended. How long are you suspended for, Romario? Right, get back out the team. Zimba. I feel like Zimba could end up being a quality player for us. I mean, look at him. Doesn't have any glaring weaknesses in his game. I guess you'd argue his anticipation and concentration aren't great. Although you kind of have to accept this level. Players are just going to have gaps in their game. There's going to be attributes they're not great in. But for a box-to-box midfielder, he has the important things that I feel like are paramount for a box-to-box midfielder in terms of just the speed, stamina, strength and work rate. You know, he's going to be a physical presence in the centre of the midfield. Released by Blackburn, a point to prove, a goal on his senior debut as well. The future's looking bright and, I feel like Season 2 should be another very good year for us if this first game is anything to go by. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up everything from me today. I'm not sure when we'll be back. We'll play things by ear. We've got Concept in a little while, but they are our fierce local rivals. I fancy taking them down in a game. That will be coming in just over a month's time. That may well be when we return. Should be a big one. We'll know the lie of the land as well. I'm hoping that this year we can live up to our billing a little bit more. You know, dominate the league, win it comfortably. I feel like that's what we should be striving towards. And hopefully this new way of approaching players and giving them contracts does work. And I can lock down at least some of the core of our team. But anyway, folks, I'll catch you next time. Thank you for watching as always. If you have enjoyed today's video, do drop a like on it. One other thing I just want to say before I go is a thank you for everyone for their support on the channel. We're edging close to 10,000 subscribers. Not 10,000, 100,000 subscribers. Add a 0 on the end, Jack. This is why I'm not an accountant. But yes, we are edging towards 100,000 subscribers. Massive thank you to you guys. The channel is actually going to be 7 years old in 8 days' time as you watch this, which is crazy. Trying to formulate some ideas for what we can do for that. If you've got any ideas for what you would like to see for 7 years of WorkTheSpace and potentially 100,000 subscribers, I don't think they're quite going to line up. I think we might hit that milestone slightly after. Let me know. It might be that we do a Q&A, something else. If you've got any ideas, please do let me know. And, well, that is going to be all from me today. Thank you for putting up with my rambling. Let me know what you made of our pre-season and our season so far. And I'll catch you guys again tomorrow for episode number 9. It is me, Jack. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.